Yeah, once again, very good morning, all. Yeah, thanks being joining. Okay. So as part of today's session, we are going to discuss the second part of the architecture of the storage. Yesterday, we discussed a lot about what is SQL Server architecture and what is the behavior of the SQL Server and what is happening internally. Right. Again, we are going to discuss something core component only today as well. Okay. Very important concepts all are like a page architecture, extends, what is dirty page, write a log, checkpoint, lazy writer, eager writer, and one of the component is asset properties. So all are very important to understand, and it's also very deeper to learn more because entire throughout our SQL career, these are the internal operations keep on performing in the SQL level. Keep on performing in the SQL level. Out of this, first, yesterday we discussed about so whenever you create a database, two files will be created. One is .ndf file, one is .ldf file, and one more file you can create is .ndf file, secondary data file. By default, you will get the true files. What are the two files? Master database, master data file, and log data file. And also you can create one more file, secondary data file. So as many as you can, sir, in one database. That is upon your database size, that is upon your how your database is performing and what is the disk capacity. Okay, based on that you can create n number of files. Okay, that's fine, I can understand that concept. But okay, within that file, how SQL is storing the data? Within that file, ndf or ndf mdf or ndf or ldf, how SQL is storing the data? Means SQL Server is storing the data in the form of pages. In the form of pages. See, when you open a Word document for your symbol, it is a Microsoft product only, right? So Microsoft SQL Server and Microsoft Word document, right? This is a Word document, sir. When I go here and when I double click on top side, so I am able to see the header, I am able to see the footer, and I am able to see the actual data, right? So this is the header session, this is the footer session, and this is the actual Word document, right? Where you can start writing something, that can be anything, sir. Something you are writing, right? So this is how your Word document look like. Your page will also look like same. So your page will also look like same, sir. Means, so what do you mean by that, Subbu? Means, what is the page architecture? So page contains header, footer, and actual data rows. This is how your page looks like. So this is your page. It contains the page header, which is the size of 96 bytes, which is the size of 96 bytes, and this is the footer, which is the size of 2 bytes, which is the size of 2 bytes, and actual data rows. This is how your data is storing, sir. So whatever you are trying to insert, right? So whatever you are trying to insert, that data will be completely stored in this, like 1 KMS, okay, 5000, okay, 2 Divya, 10,000. So this is how you keep on storing the data in row data. In row data set, only one strategy SQL Server will follows? No, sir. Before SQL Server 2012, we are following only one strategy, but after SQL Server 2012 onwards, Microsoft came up with the concept called column store index. Microsoft came up concept called column store index. When you go for column store index, it is column level data storing. So that we are going to discuss in the advanced level. As of now, no need to worry. Okay. In SQL, how data is storing, sir? In SQL, data is storing in the form of pages. So your complete data is storing in pages, sir. In the pages, your data will be stored, and the page size will be 8 KB. Make a note, sir. One data page size is 8 KB. Can I increase the database size? No. Can I decrease the database size? No. It is the predefined. It is the predefined. You cannot increase, you cannot decrease the page sizes. Make a note, sir. So in SQL Server, data will store in the form of pages. Each page size is 8 kilobytes. What is the page architecture, sir? Every page will have the header session, footer session, and data row session. And data row session. This is your data row, sir, where your data is actual data is arranging and storing, and this is your header, this is your footer. So what information header will maintain? Sir, page ID, object ID, how many slots are available, sir? No worries, sir. When we are discussing in the coming sessions, I will go into the page and I will show you what data is available in the page. No worries about that one. Means everyone having one major. So I need to see, I need to open the page, I need to see the data, what data is available in that page. So that also we can go and verify in the coming session, sir. I will show you what kind of data is available within that page. Okay, make a note, sir. So every page contains the header session, footer session, and data rows. So which is the page size is 8 kilobytes. What data will be available in the header sessions? Header means, so page ID, object ID means which object, which table information it is storing, which object information it is storing. Page ID, object ID, and number of slots. Sir, slots are very important, sir. Number of slots is nothing but how many rows are available is nothing but slot. If if a page contains 10 rows, 10 slots will be available. If a page contains 1000 rows, 1000 slots will be available. So page header will maintain slot information, means number of records information, next page, previous page, okay, how much free space is available, how much data is allocated, what is the object, everything will be stored in the page header. Make a note, sir. Everyone? Yep.
Yes, yes, Subbu.
Yes. And the page footer, sir. So that's what here mentioned. Page header will store the information about the page type, next page, previous page, index page, free space, allocated space, and number of slots. And number of slots. All this information will be maintained by the page. All this information will be maintained by the page header, sir. And data rows will contains the data apart from nothing else, sir. Okay, whatever the data you are trying to insert or update or delete, that data will be available in the data rows. And the footer is very important, sir. Sir, footer technically you can call it as a footer, or technically you can call it as a row offset. Technically you can call it as a row offset, sir. Row offset information stores at the end of the page, sir, after the data row session. Every row offset will contains the object record ID, sir. Means, so for example, okay, let me, sir. 1 second, where it is a, okay. So row offset will contains the, okay, will contains the row ID. Row IDs are means whenever you are trying to insert or update or delete, so your data will be moved from the footer. Your data will move into the page through the footer, sir. Which object records it is maintaining, that information will be maintained by the row offset. Either you can call it as a footer or you can call it as a row offset, which is size of 2 bytes. 2 bytes, sir, not kilobytes at all, 2 bytes only. 2 bytes, 96 bytes,
Uh,
and
Subbu,
yes,
Subbu,
yes.
sorry for interrupting. Can you please explain this raw offset? I mean, I get this page header, I get this rows, these are, and can you please explain this raw offset once again?
Row offset is nothing but very simple, sir. Whenever you are trying to insert the data, right? When you start inserting the data or updating the data, right? Your inserts and your updates will go from the footer into the database, sir. Footer.
Okay,
So
that will go
your
from
row
bottom,
offset will,
like.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Okay, okay. So the row offset only works when we are inserting and updating the data, right? I mean, no
Or
deletion and
deleting
other
the data.
thing.
Deleting the data. Inserting, deleting, updating. These three only, right, you will perform.
I mean, data modification, DML, right?
Yes, yes.
Row offset works.
And
Yeah,
it
please,
maintains
please.
that ID, but you cannot see directly. It's in a hidden, sir. It's a hidden.
Mhm.
Okay. Let
Okay.
me. Everyone is having one doubt. Okay. No need to wait for a long time, sir. Let me verify. Okay, it's available. Just hold on. Not this demo. 1 second, sir. No problem. Whoever listening first time, I will come up all this demo in the advanced level. Okay. Okay, sir. There is a database called KMS Index Prod database, and I am having a table called Halls table. Okay, so Halls table. Sir, I am going to use DBCC IND. Okay, so there is a DBCC commands are available in SQL Server database console commands where you can get the information. You can get the information that can be miscellaneous, that can be stats, that can be a bloss, a lot many things. Okay, forget about what command I am running today. Okay, you will get to know in the coming sessions. Okay, so when I run dbcc ind, I will pass the database name as a parameter, table name as a parameter. Sir, currently my table is a heap table. Okay, currently my table is a heap table. I am passing 0. If you're not understanding, no problem, sir. There is a separate session where you will get lot of information. What is a heap? What is a cluster? What is a hobbit? Everything you will get in the separate session, sir. No worries. So when you run dbcc ind, okay, so you will get all the page id information. See, these are all the page id information. 280, 281, 282, 283, 284 are the pages, sir. And I wanted
Okay.
to see
This is
that page.
basically,
Yes,
sorry, Subramanian, I'm interrupting. This is page ID is basically page number, right? I mean, if
page
if,
number.
if we
Yes,
consider this a
page number.
book, right? First,
Yes,
second, third page number, right?
yes, page number, sir. Okay, sir, I am copying 284 page number, and I wanted to see what data is available in that page. I wanted to see what data is available in that specific page. When I enable trace on 3604 and I am going for DBCC page, I will get complete information about the page. Yeah, this is what, sir. This is your, sir, I am reading the page, means whatever I explain you, right? A page looks like this one. Okay, page architecture is this. Okay, I am just going to the deeper into the page, and I wanted to show you this is your page. Okay, this is your page id. Every page will contains the buffer information. Yesterday I already told you everything you will perform in the buffer. Whatever the changes you are performing, whatever every action will performing, that will perform in the buffer, sir. So every page will contains the buffer information. So this is complete your buffer information. Every page will maintain the buffer information along with, I told you, right, every page will contains the header information. I told you number of slots, number of slots. Okay, object id. Okay, how much free space is available, how much space is allocated, what is the next page, what is the previous page. So whatever I explained, right, next page, previous page, free space, allocated, object id, and very important is slot. Very important is slot in the sense how many records are available. Sir, in this page, in 284 I am having only one slot, means only one record is available, sir. Only one record is available. Now when you just scroll down, sir, we are going to discuss all these pages, GAM page, SGAM, PFS. In just hold for 5 to 10 minutes, sir. We are going to discuss. Sir, this is nothing but memory dump. Scroll down, down. Okay, down. Now you are able to see. So every slot will start with 0. Okay, slot 0, column 1 contains 725, 725, sir, 725, and column 2 contains big data around 7,000 characters. Around 7,000 characters, sir. This is 7,000 characters. Okay, big data. So around 7,000 characters are available. Column 3 contains A. Column 4 contains 2008779. Sir, how I can trust you? This is only data is available. Okay, to show you practically. Okay, to show you practically, let me, okay, go to the new query window. Go to KMS index plot, sir. Select star from, okay, what is the table name? 1 second, sir. This is the table name. Okay, so where uh, column 4 equal to, what is the column 4 data, sir? 2008779. Okay, copy this one, go to here, paste here, and just execute, sir. Sir, are you getting? So column 1 contains 725. Column 1 contains 725. Column 2 contain big data around 7,000 characters. Column 3 contain A. Column 4 contain 2008779. Same data, right, sir? Yes or no, everyone?
Sir.
That is that is how you will read the pages in SQL Server, sir. Actually, your data will be stored in the form of data pages. Every data page size will be 8 KB. Can I increase? No. Can it decrease? No, sir. Okay, make a clear note. Now, every data page will contain the page header, page footer, and data rows. Okay, page header size will be 96 bytes, page footer size will be 2 bytes, and around 8,000 bytes will be your data rows page. Now, page header will maintain the slots, next page, previous page, object ID, page ID, okay, and so on and so on. So page footer will maintain the row offset, is nothing but data, object, record ID information. But can you see, sir? Can I see? No, sir. Okay, can I see? No. It's like a hidden, sir. You cannot see the footer session. Okay, and one more thing here, very important is your data rows will contain the data. So that is what about the complete page architecture, how to verify the page, how to read the page. This is, sir, I hope you understand. Yep. Online people, clear? Not clear?
Yes, yes.
Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Divya, Muni, Nikhil, Mahendra, Subhagni, Sagar? Yeah, good. Okay,
No,
now,
sir.
sir. Yeah, good. Now, sir. Okay, sir. There is a concept called extend, sir. There is a concept called extend. Okay, sir. In SQL Server, uh, 8 continuous pages, we'll call it as a one extend. Means 8 continuous data pages. Again, make a note, sir, everyone. 8 continuous data pages, consecutive data pages, we'll call it as a one extend. So in SQL Server, we have two types of extents. One is mixed extents, one is uniform extents. Sir, what do you mean by Subbu? What actually basically what is, sir? Sir, actually what data will be stored in the form of data pages only. Don't get confused. But directly instead of allocating one page every time, so Microsoft came up with one more concept called extend, sir. So Microsoft will create the extend for every operation. Like whenever you are trying to insert the data or update the data, Microsoft will create the extend. What is that extend, sir? Extend is nothing but 8 continuous pages. Will call it as a extend, one extend, sir. 8 continuous pages will call it as a extends. What is the size of extends? 64 kilobytes, because each page size is 8 KB, right, sir? 8 into 8, 64, right? Yes or no? Correct? Yes or no, sir? 8 into 8,
Yes, sir.
64, right? So our extend size will be 64 kilobytes. Our extend size will be 64 kilobytes, sir. Okay, so we have two types of extents. One is uniform extents, one is mixed extents. Sir, what is uniform extent? What is mixed extent means? Sir, uniform extent means if 8 pages contains single object data, if 8 pages contains single object data means only employee data, only department data, only customer data, only account data, only sales data, only product data. So if 8 pages contain single object data, then we'll call it as a uniform extent. If 8 contains multiple object data, then we'll call it as a mixed extent. Make a sense? Make a sense, sir? Very, very important interview question. Okay. If 8 pages contains single object data, we'll call it as a uniform extent. If 8 pages contains multiple object data, we'll call it as a mixed extent.
Subbu wanted to understand the context of object here. I mean, can you explain please?
Objects, sir. Just hold on. We have different types of objects: tables, views, store procedures, functions, triggers. Technically, you should call it as a all as a
No,
objects.
what I mean, what is being referred as object here? I mean, single object. What does that mean? Single object.
Only employee data, sir. If 8 pages contains only single table data, okay, then you will call it as a uniform extent. If 8 pages contains different object data, then we'll call it as a mixed data. Means in the 8 pages, okay, okay, in the 8 pages, first 3 pages contains the employee data, next 3 pages contains the department data, next 2 pages will are empty. Assume it are empty, sir. Then now tell me whether this extent is a uniform extent or mixed extent.
This is mixed extent. This is mixed extent because
That's sir.
it's
If
different.
8 pages contains, if 4 pages contains employee data, then 4 pages are free. Then what type of extent, sir, it is?
That's
Mixed.
so far
Mixed.
this is uniform extent.
Mixed.
Depends.
Mixed. No, sir. Uniform.
Uniform
Uniform
extent, sir.
extent.
Only
Yeah,
single
depends
object
what
data, right?
kind of.
Yeah. 1 second, sir. Just hold on 1 second only. Sorry, sir. Yeah, you can. You were asking something. So now tell me, this is a uniform extent or mixed extent?
This is so far uniform
Uniform
extent.
extent, sir.
Depends
Yeah, this
what
is
all
mixed
data will
extent,
have to
sir.
be there.
That is what. Any questions?
Mixed extent, right? Mixed extent.
Yes. Yes, this is mixed extent. This is uniform extent.
But Subbu, I have a doubt. By
Yeah.
default, SQL has taken the mixed instance, right? And after that internal
Just
process,
give me
he will
some
decide.
time. Just give me some time. I will explain you, sir. Try to understand further logic. What is mixed extent? What is uniform extent? Then we'll discuss what SQL Server will do. Okay. Yep. Sir, clear, sir? Everyone? What is extend, sir? 8 continuous consecutive pages, data pages will call it as a extend. The extend size is 64 kilobytes. We have two types of extend. One is uniform extend, one is mixed extend. In uniform extends, 8 pages will contain the single object data. In mixed extend, 8 pages will contain different objects data. That's it, sir. Yep, clear? Not clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, sir. Sir, in SQL Server, we have different types of pages. In SQL Server, we have different types of pages. Around 10 pages are available, sir, in SQL Server. Okay. So, database, GAM page, SGAM page, PFS page, DCM page, BCM page, okay, IAM page, boot page, text and image pages. Around 10 pages are available here, 3, 4, 5, here 3, 4, 5. Around 10 pages are available in SQL Server. In SQL Server, we have around 10 pages are available. Data page, GAM page, SGAM, PFS page, DCM page, BCM page, okay, IAM page, image page, text page, and boot page. Around 10 pages are available in SQL Server. Let's discuss one by one, sir. Out of these, data page is the very, very important, sir, where your data is storing. Make a note, sir. Your data is storing only on the data pages. Don't get confused at all. Don't get confused at all, sir. Your data page will contains data. Your database will contains the actual data. Now, what about all these pages, Subbu? Definitely, you will get one question mark, sir. You will get one question mark. Now, sir, try to understand one by one logic, sir. Okay, sir. Next page is again. I'm telling, just make one or two lines, sir. Don't go for theoretical. It's been lengthy theoretical, sir. It's very difficult to remember. Just make a simple note, sir. Like one or two lines. No one will expect that much theoretical. I never feel that where we need to go on deeper this about all these concepts. It's like a generic flow of SQL Server, sir. Nothing we can do, nothing we can change. Okay, make a note, sir. Clear, sir. What is GAM page? GAM stands for Global Allocation Map, sir. GAM stands for Global Allocation Map, sir. What do you mean by this? Try to understand the very simple, sir. Every GAM page size is 4 GB. Sir, every GAM page size is 4 GB, which contains 64,000 extents information. Every GAM page will contains 64,000 extents information, and every GAM page size is 4 GB. All your extents allocations are means how SQL Server is allocating extents means via GAM page. Make a note, sir. All your extents allocation will be doing from GAM page. Assume, sir, I am creating a table. I am creating a table. Okay. For this table, I want two extents. So first it will go to the GAM page and it will take the two extents from the GAM page. Now, how many extents are available, sir? 63,998 extents are available. Out of 64,000, two extents has been taken by employee table. Make a sense, sir? Online people, everyone, sir, getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so whenever you are creating a table, okay, so first it will go to the GAM page and it will get the extent from the GAM page. So now, how many extents are available when you create a database? 64,000 extents available, and the size will be 4 GB. But when you go to the SQL level, sir, I'm showing you, when you go to the SQL, okay, when I go to the right click on database, okay, right click on database, when you go to the properties, you will see the size of the database is only 144 MB, sir. Then you will get one idea. Whatever Subbu told is wrong. Sir, it is not a static, it is dynamic. Make a note, sir. Your GAM pace, your SGAM pace, your DCM pace, your BCM pace, all are dynamic allocation, not static allocation. What do you mean by static? Means whenever you create a database, it will allocate that much size. Is a static, sir, not a static. When you keep on performing your transactions, your GAM page size will be keep on growing. It will grow up to 4 GB. It will grow up to 64,000 extents consumption. Once 64,000 is consumed, what will happen, sir? It will create one more GAM page. That 64,000 will also consumed. It will create one more GAM page. So that is the nature of the SQL Server. Hope you understand, sir. Hope you understand how SQL Server will perform, sir. Don't see the database size, sir. Compare with GAM page. Subbu told GAM page size will be 4 GB. My database size itself is 144 MB, sir. How Subbu is telling that GAM page size is 4 GB? It is not static, it is dynamic allocation. Make a sense? Make a sense, sir?
Yes, 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 Subbu, yes.
Yeah. That is one thing, sir. Everyone make a note. Then you will get one more doubt. Okay, sir. Okay, Subbu, I can agree with you. GAM page size is 4 GB. It contains 64,000. How SQL Server knows that this extent is occupied with some data? This extent is free. Means internally SQL Server will make one bit algorithm. Okay, if the GAM having one bit for every extent, sir, every extent it will allocate one bit, sir. If bit is one, the extent is free. If bit is zero, the extent is allocated. That is how SQL Server will recognize which extent is occupied, which extent is free. If the bit value equal to 1, that is a free. If bit value equal to 0, that is allocated. Now it's keep on, you are trying to insert the data or update the data or delete the data, and you are creating a tables. Whenever you are doing whatever operations, sir, okay, SQL Server will get the extents from the GAM page only. Make a note, sir. Clear? Online people? Online people, are you
Yes,
there?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
That is that is one important, sir. Now, what is the SGAM, sir? What is the SGAM? Sir, SGAM is also same concept, sir. SGAM will also contain 64,000 extended information and 4 GB. It will also maintain 4 GB, but it is not allocating. Sir, SGAM stands for Shared Global Allocation Map. Okay, I can agree, sir. Okay, let me for your understanding, I'm telling, sir. This is 8 extents. 3, 3, 6, 7, 8. Sir, 8 extents, sir. Now, out of these 8 extents, 4 pages are consumed with the data, and 4 pages are still free, or 5 pages are consumed with the data, still 3 more pages are free, sir. How you can track this information, sir? Within one extent, how much free space is available? How you can trace this information? How SQL Server will trace this information? Via SGAM. Via SGAM, sir. Sir, GAM is allocating the extents. Everyone understands, sir? GAM will allocate the extents, but SGAM will inform that, hey, within this extents, still there is a space where you can start inserting the data, where you can load the data, where you can load the data. That information you will get it from the SGAM page. So SGAM will contains the extends free space information. Make a note, sir. SGAM will contains extends free space information. GAM will contains extends allocation information. Make sense? Online people? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, sir, whenever you are inserting the data, when you are updating data, how SQL Server will perform all this in the backend, sir? At least it need to store somewhere, right? You are just trying to insert one table, one you created one table and you are inserting only one record, sir. You are having 8 pages. That record is fit only on this page. Now 7 pages are free. How SQL Server knows, sir? This section is free. This section is complete with data with help of SGAM. With help of SGAM, sir. So if the bit is 1, SGAM will also consider in the bit format only, sir. If the bit is 1, the extent is being used as a mixed extent and has a free pages. So whenever there is a bit is 1 in SGAM, means that extent is a mixed extent and it is having free space. Make a note, sir. Okay, make a note, sir. Whenever the bit value is 1, the extent is being as a mixed extent and having some free space. If the bit value is 0, if bit value is 0 means that extent is not a mixed extent, or again, or okay, it is a mixed extent and all its pages has been used. Two conditions, sir. Whenever in the SGAM, whenever the bit value is 0, whenever the bit value is 0, okay, whenever the bit value is 0, okay, it is not a mixed extent, or it is a mixed extent but complete with data. Both, sir. You need to SQL Server will treat that whenever bit value is 0, okay, it feel that okay, it is not a mixed extent, or it is a mixed extent but complete with the data. That is how it will get the information before it load the information to the pages. Make a sense, sir? Sir, all this will done in the fraction of milliseconds, sir. You no need to worry. You no need to worry at all, sir. That is the nature of the SQL Server. I hope you understand now.
Yes, sir.
And now your Sagar is asking, Sagar is available? No, he. Okay. So he's asking, SQL Server will create a mixed extents or uniform extent. So SQL Server will create explicitly mixed extents only whenever you are doing. Okay. So, but we can dynamically tell to SQL Server, hey, don't create mixed extent, create the uniform extents. Okay. So that concept we are going to discuss in the TempDB part, sir. Sir, first 3 pages clear, sir? Everyone? Yep. Now, sir. Sir, PFS page free space, sir. So there is separate page, sir, where Microsoft has been creating internally PFS space, which contains all the data pages free space information. Sir, every data page is having its own free space. It is tracking its own free space, sir. But again, Microsoft going one more head. What is doing, sir? He has created one more page called PFS page, which will track all the pages, all the data pages, free space information. Free space information. How, sir? It will calculate via percentage format, sir. 1 to 50% full, 51 to 80% full, 81 to 95% full, 96 to 100% full. It will make one percentage symbol how much space is allocated in all the data pages on that respect to object. On that respect to object, it is going to make a entry. So all your free space data pages free space entry will be available in the PFS space. PFS page. So every database is having its own free space information along with, so Microsoft going one more head and is created one more page called PFS page, which is tracking all the data pages free space information in the form of percentage, in the form of percentage, sir. Okay, that is nothing but PFS space, sir. Sir, DCM page I am not explaining today. Okay, we will explain you whenever we are discussing backup session. Make a sense, sir? Very, 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 very important page out of all this. Very, very important page where you must and should understand this concept as well, sir. So whenever we are discussing backup, most probably over the Saturday we'll come up with the backup sessions. Whenever we are discussing backup sessions, I will explain you about the DCM page and I will also show you practical. Make a sense, sir? Yep, forget about today. No need to worry about today. So just hold for 3 more sessions. Whenever we are discussing backups, we will discuss about the DCM page very clearly. Hope you understand, sir. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Sir, BCM page also I am not discussing today. Whenever we are discussing recovery models, topmost a concept, very simple concepts are actually it is very, very simple concept, but very, very important concept in the interview. Even you are having 20 years, 30 years experience, definitely they may ask you one question, what is recovery models? Okay, when we are discussing recovery models, I will discuss about the BCM page, bulk change map. Okay, bulk change map. Make a sense. That is also I am not discussing today. Okay, now IAM page, sir. IAM page also not discussing today when because I already shown you demo as well here. Okay, so when you run here, okay, so when you run DBCC IND, there is 146, sir. See 146, 146, 146. This is nothing but IAM page, index allocation map. Okay, so what is this index allocation map? Okay, everything we are going to discuss in the index session, sir. Very, very important concept. Okay, so and you will see lot of demos. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Around 9 demos are available only for index, sir. Then you think that how index complex is. Okay, so around nine demos are available only on the index concept. So whenever we are discussing index concept, we will discuss complete about the IAM page, index allocation map. When we are discussing recovery models, we will discuss about the BCM page. When we are discussing backups, we will discuss about the DCM page, sir. Hope you understand, everyone. Yep, no need to worry, sir. Because okay, so whenever we are discussing that concept, if I explain about this page, everyone will become stronger. That is what my intention is, sir. Yep. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Now, sir, boot page, sir. Okay, sir. Only one boot page will be available, sir. Again, I'm telling only one boot page is available for entire database. Entire your database, enter your database. Only one boot page will be available. One boot page will be available. Okay, sir. Boot page is very important actually. No one knows about this concept about the boot page. No worries, sir. Whenever we are discussing on corruption cases, I will show you one real experience. Definitely hope that will help you lot. Okay, boot page contains lot of metadata information. Okay, lot of metadata, sir. What is metadata? Your database name, your database file location, how many files are available, how much free space, how much is allocated, and lot. And lot. What is that lot? No worries, sir. We are going to, I will show you practically when we are discussing on the corruption case. Okay, so just hold, sir. Just hold about the boot page. I will show you practically whenever we are discussing corruption. Make a sense, sir? Boot page, only one page will be available only on the MDF file. Make a note, sir. only on the MDF file. Only one page will be available. Sir, what data it will contain means it will contains complete metadata related to your database. You no need to worry anything, sir. Boot page will contains complete metadata related to the database. Metadata, not your data. Make a note, sir. Not your data. Your data will be stored only on the data pages. Your data will be stored only on the data pages. Then what is metadata, sir? Means is information, sir. Information about your data page. Information about your data page will be maintained by the boot page. What information? In depth, I will show you practical, sir, in the corruption whenever we are discussing corruption in the advanced level. Make a note, sir. And text page and image page, sir. Whenever we have the concept called file stream. Okay, we have the concept called file stream in SQL Server. Assume you enable the file stream. Assume you enable the file stream, and your sir. Whenever you want to open a bank account, they will take your ID proof, right? They will take your ID proof, along with they will take the photo. Sir, in SQL Server, you can load the text data, you can load the images into the database. Whenever you are loading the text data, whenever you are loading the images, so it will store this kind of information in the text or image pages. Text or image pages, sir. I hope you understand about the pages. Yes.
Yes, Subbu.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, if no any questions, sir. Okay, if no questions, just relax for 10 minutes, sir. Okay, I am going to start very important concepts. Okay, just relax for 10 minutes, then again we'll come up in the 10 minutes, sir. Okay, we'll catch up at 8:45. Yep.
Okay, Subbu. Okay.
Okay, just relax, sir. Don't think anything. Very important concept we are going to discuss. Yep. Yeah. Everyone back?
Yeah, Subbu.
Yep. Okay. Now let me go to the paint, sir, first. Let me go to the paint. So the concept we are going to discuss is, okay, let me, what happened? Yeah, clean page, okay, dirty page, checkpoint, lazy writer, and asset properties. Okay, and one more concept is, let me reduce the size. Okay, concept is here itself, wall. So this is what the concept we are going to discuss now. Very important, sir. Very technically important. Okay, so let me start with one by one. Let me start with one by one, sir. Okay, so everyone, now, sir, first let me discuss about the what concept now we are going to discuss. Then we'll go for one by one. Yesterday we discussed a lot about SQL architecture, right? So whenever you are trying to perform the select statement or whenever you are trying to perform anything, so SQL Server will first go to the database engine, then go to the in database engine we have the relational engine, then it will go to the storage engine to get the data to the user. That that can be whatever operation you are performing, sir. Now, actually, sir, whenever you are performing select statement, so whenever you are performing select statement, how SQL Server will behave? First, it will go to the relational engine. It will check the syntax. If everything is fine, that it will prepare the query tree. Okay, and it will go to the optimizer. Optimizer will prepare the plan for the requested query, and it will go to the executor to execute the request. But relational engine never maintain the data, right? It will go to the access method. Access method can understand with the APIs, and it will go to the buffer manager. Buffer manager is again RAM, sir. In the buffer manager, we have the data cache. Okay, first it will go to the data cache. It will verify any pages are available on that select statement. Currently, there are no pages are available in the data cache. So how it will act now? So it will get the data from the MDF, and it will place the copy in the data cache. It will place the copy in the data cache, and this data will be sent to the user. This data will be sent to the user when you are performing select statement. So tomorrow, if you execute the same select statement, it will go to the data cache. So data is already available in the data cache. It will send the data from the data cache. It will sense data from the data cache. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, sir, that is the nature of the SQL Server when you are performing select statement. If data is available in the data cache, it will just send the data from the data cache. If data is not available, it will get the data from MDF, and it will place one copy in the data cache, and it will send to the user. Everyone clear on select statement, sir?
Yes,
Everyone
sir.
clear on
Clear, sir.
select statement? Yes. Now everyone mustn't should focus on the business transactions, sir. Insert, update, delete. Sir, when you are performing insert, when you are performing update, when you are performing delete, how SQL Server will act? So again, from the optimizer point of view, same, sir. So first it will check the syntax error, and it will prepare the query tree. It will go to the optimizer. Optimizer will prepare the execution plan. It will go to the executor. Executor will start executing, and but it will go to the access method. Access method will go to the data cache. Up to here, same concept. Up to here, same concept. Now, sir. Now what will do, sir? So first it will go to data cache. It will verify any data is available in the data cache. Currently, there are no pages are related to this object. There are currently no pages related to this object is available. Now what it will do? It will connect to the MDF or NDF. It will get the pages into the. It will get the pages into the. Where it will get, sir? It will get the pages into the data cache. It will get the pages into the data cache. Now what it will do? It will try to copy the pages. Copy the shit. It will try to copy the pages. So now these pages we will call it as a clean page. Sir, I still not yet insert the data. Sir, to perform insert or update or delete, you require lot of things, sir. What are the lot of things? CPU, memory, IO, pages, everything, right? So currently pages are available. Currently memory is available. Currently IO is available. IO is performed, sir. Input output is performed. Now it need to execute the query, right? Whenever it start executing the query only, it will start modifying the data in the pages. Means it will start inserting the data into the pages, until unless these pages will call it as a clean page. The page which is not yet modified in the buffer, the page which is not yet modified in the page buffer, those pages will call it as a clean page. Make a note, sir. Sir, what is a clean page? The page which is not yet modified. Those pages will call it as a clean page. In the buffers or not in the MDF, okay? The page which is available in the buffer but it is not yet modified, those pages will call it as a clean page. Make a sense, everyone? Make a sense, sir? Yeah. Now, sir, now it started inserting the data. Now it started inserting the data. When it start inserting the data, the pages which are modified but not yet moved to the MDF, those pages will call it as a dirty pages. Very important interview question. Okay, the pages which are modified in the buffer but not yet moved to the MDF file. Those pages will call it as a dirty pages. Clean page will convert into dirty page. Dirty page will again convert into the clean page. Okay, vice versa, sir. This is the round robin mechanism. Okay, so clean page will become the dirty page will become the clean page. Make sense? So what is the dirty page, sir? The page which is modified but not yet moved to the MDF, those pages will call it as a dirty page. So dirty page, clean page will be only on the buffer, not in MDF, not in LDF, sir. Make a note clearly. MDF, LDF will contains only data pages. But technically, clean page, dirty pages, we are calling in the buffer itself. Make sense, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, make a note, sir. Now, okay, Subbu sir, whatever you are telling, I'm agreeing. Now SQL Server has been inserted some data. Now SQL Server inserted data. That data is not yet moved to the MDF file. That data is not yet moved to the MDF file, sir. Now let me show you this one, sir. Okay, sir. First, SQL Server tries to allocate the pages in the buffer cache. First, it will try to allocate the pages in the buffer cache. If it does not find the page, SQL Server get that pages from the disk into the buffer cache. That is what I explained you, right, sir? That is what I explained you, right, sir? If SQL Server will first go to the data cache and it will try to verify any pages are available. If no pages are available, it will get the pages from the disk and it will place into the buffer. The page is now called as a clean page because it does not contains any changes. So why we are calling it as a clean page, sir? Because it does not contains any changes. Because still you not yet perform any changes. Once you start performing the changes, this means SQL Server acquire a lock on the page, page level, row level, and start performing the changes, sir. Means no worries about that lock, sir. We have around 3 days. We are going to discuss only on the lock concept, sir. Definitely will go mad only. Okay, no worries. So no worries about the logs. We are going to discuss around 3 days. Okay, around every day we are going to spend around 2.5 hours. So almost we are spending around 9 hours only on the logs, sir. Okay, so no worries on that concept. So SQL Server will place a lock on the page and it will start modifying the data. And it will start modifying the data. Once it start modifying the data, those pages will call it as a dirty pages. Okay, those pages will call it as a dirty pages, sir. Make a sense? Make a sense, sir? Online people?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, now, sir, before I discuss this point, before I discuss this point, okay, let me get you about this, sir. Sir, once it start modifying the data, once it start modifying the data, okay, now these pages will call it as a dirty page. Sir, there is a mechanism called wall concept. There is a mechanism called wall concept, sir. What is a wall? Anyone who is already working, sir? What is a wall? Anyone who is already working? Online people?
Right ahead logging.
Okay. Okay. What do you mean that right ahead logging? Okay. No problem. Okay. Let me start, sir. WAL stands for right ahead logging. WAL stands for right ahead logging, sir. So why Microsoft came up, sir? This is buffer, sir. Okay. This is buffer. Okay, I am not sure if suddenly my server got reboot. Suddenly my server got reboot, sir. Whatever the data is available in the caches, that will be erased, right? Yes or no? Will you agree or not agree? So whatever our data is available in the cache, that will erase or not? Definitely, sir. It will erase. Okay. What Microsoft thought that, okay, whatever the changes you are making, whatever the changes you are performing, let's move all the changes simultaneously to the log file, to the log file. That is nothing but SQL harden, log harden, sir. Log harden, log harden. Okay, so I can show you, sir, that one. Okay, just let me do one thing. Okay, just 1 second, sir. Sir, this is again too depth. Okay, again I will come up whenever we are discussing always on concept. Just to show you, sir. Sir, whenever you are performing a transaction, whenever you are performing a transaction, that will first go to the that will first go to the buffer, sir. That will go to the first to the buffer. On the buffer, see, parallelly it is hardened to the log file. Parallelly it will harden to the log file, because to secure our data, sir. I am not sure whether my memory got corrupted or my server got corrupted, entire data lost, right? Instead of that, what Microsoft is doing, let's harden everything simultaneously into the log file to satisfy wall concept. Whatever the changes you are performing, okay, whatever the changes you are performing. 1 second, sir. Hey Subbu, we have an upgrade on UPN at 12:30. I will do some pre-check now. Okay, 1 second, sir. Okay, so yes, so to protect our data, Microsoft is parallelly harden the logs into the log file to satisfy wall concept, sir. To satisfy wall concept. What do you mean by wall? Let me show you, sir. See, once we make the changes to the clean page in the buffer, it generate the log records contain the details about the modification. Now, whatever the changes you are performing, those changes parallelly Microsoft treating it as a log records. Microsoft treating it as a log records and writing that log records into the transaction log via log flush. Internally, there will be log flush here, sir. Again, I'm telling, right, I will discuss in the log file architecture itself. Okay, no problem. So whatever the changes you are performing, right, those changes parallelly Microsoft will move into the log file in the form of log records, not like dirty pages, sir. Dirty pages concept only in the buffer, not in MDF, not in LDF concepts, sir. In MDF, in LDF only we are calling as a records. So whatever the changes you made, right, those changes will go into the log records parallelly. Make a sense, sir? Make a sense, online people?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. See the changes it generate the log records contains the details of the modification. SQL Server writes this log records to the disk into the transaction log before the associated dirty page is flushed to the disk. What do you mean? Means before that dirty page will move to the MDF file. Before that dirty page will move to the MDF file, it is writing a entry in the log file to satisfy wall concept, to satisfy wall concept, to satisfy durability in the acid properties, sir. Sir, acid stands for atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. So D stands for durability. So to satisfy durability, to satisfy wall concept, Microsoft is making entry in the log file. Make a sense? Yep. Sir, first time who are listening, understanding, sir? Bhaskar, Vijay. Madhu?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very simple, sir. Don't make very complex this one. Sir, whatever the change you are performing, right? Those changes parallel it will move to the log file in the form of log records. In the form of log records before you flush the page into the MDF file. Okay, so to satisfy wall concept, to satisfy durability. Durability is nothing but uh, any something abnormal activities on happen on the server level, sir. Clear? Not clear? Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So everyone clear, sir, about the dirty page, about the clean page, about the wall concept?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Yep. Now, sir. Now, very important option is checkpoint. Definitely, you will get one doubt, sir. Subbu, you are telling, okay, I can agree with you. Okay, now dirty pages are available in the cache itself, right? Now dirty pages are available in the cache. Okay, now dirty pages are available in the cache itself, sir. How these dirty pages will move to the MDF file? Sir, until unless your data move to the MDF file, you cannot see the data. Make a note, sir, clear note. Until unless your data will move to the MDF file, no one can see the data. No one can see the data. Make a clear note, sir. Now, how these dirty pages will move to the MDF file? So now Microsoft came up with a concept called two concepts, sir. One is checkpoint, one is lazy writer. One is checkpoint, one is lazy writer, sir. Very important. All are very important, sir. Whatever we are discussing whole this week, you will get 10 interview questions. Again, I'm telling. Okay, whatever experience you will be, sir. Okay, out of this whole week, 10 interview questions you will get it. Okay, so definitely they may ask you about the extent, they may ask you about the different type of pages, they may ask you about the what is the default port number, they will ask you about the dirty page, they will ask you about the checkpoint lazy writer, difference between checkpoint and lazy writer. Definitely they may ask you, sir. Okay, so be very careful, sir. Again, I'm telling, right, overall this week you will get 10 interview questions. Now, sir, Microsoft came up with the two concepts. One is lazy writer, one is checkpoint. One is lazy writer, one is checkpoint, sir. First, let me discuss about the checkpoint, then I can go for the lazy writer, then I can go for the asset properties. Now, what is checkpoint, sir? What is checkpoint? Means, sir, checkpoint is a internal mechanism. Checkpoint is a internal mechanism. Sir, uh, sp underscore who to. Sir, you should not forget about this external stored procedure, sir. sp underscore who to is an external stored procedure. By default, Microsoft will create, sir. See, there is lazy writer, there is log writer, sir, log writer, lazy writer, checkpoint, checkpoint, sir, sorry, checkpoint. See, checkpoint, lazy writer, lazy writer, log writer, which is writing a log to the log file from the buffer to log file. From buffer to log file, how your data is moving, sir? Via log writer. Log writer thread will writes the data from buffer to disk, buffer to disk, and your checkpoint will write the dirty pages to disk. Your lazy writer will flushes the disk data from buffer to disk. So these are all the internal mechanism. Sir, you cannot do nothing. You cannot do nothing, sir, here. Okay. So here clearly I'm showing you, sir, checkpoint, lazy writer, log writer. Okay, so and there are lot many others, sir. lot many others also available. In keep on our sessions, we'll discuss one by one. Okay, again I'm telling, no one knows all concepts, sir. Whatever very important concept, definitely that will help us a lot in the technical. I'm going to explain all the concepts, sir. Again, make a note, sir. Now, sir, what is now checkpoint? What is checkpoint, Subbu, now? Okay, checkpoint, lazy writer, log writer, or internal process. It's keep on running internally. It is keep on running, sir. What checkpoint will do? Sir, before I go to the checkpoint, I missed. Sir, there is a DMV. Uh, this DMVs again you will get it in the advanced level only, very detailed. Okay, and I will share you the document as well about what are the top DMVs we will use in real world. Okay, so no need to worry. So to check the dirty pages in the buffer, we will use DM underscore OS underscore buffer underscore descriptor. DM underscore OS underscore buffer underscore descriptor to check the dirty pages over the buffer. Dirty pages over the buffer, sir. So now on tempdb around 43 dirty pages are available. On MSDB 17 dirty pages are available. On worldwide importers 6 dirty pages are available. I can do one thing, sir. Let's go on create a table. Create table emp. Okay, employee. No worries, sir. Tomorrow we are going to discuss all these concepts. Okay, employee ID integer. Let me create one table, sir. Okay, now let me go and run. Let me go and run this statement, sir, again. Now 15 dirty pages are available in the Adventure Works 2014 on buffer, sir. I just created a table. I not insert the data. Sir, I just created a table, sir. I not yet insert the data. How many dirty pages are available? How many dirty pages are available, sir? 15. Okay. Now let's go and trigger the checkpoint. Checkpoint, sir. Let's go and trigger the checkpoint manually, sir. Okay. Okay. I triggered the checkpoint. Now you can go and verify. There are no dirty pages available. Whenever checkpoint triggers, it will it will make the dirty pages into clean page, sir. So that is the reason you are not able to see any dirty pages related to Adventure Works 2014. Okay, that's how it will made, sir, internally. Okay, make a note one thing. Now you will have one question, sir. Firstly, what is checkpoint? Okay, I'm good now. I'm able to see the dirty pages. Whenever you start creating the table, I am getting the dirty pages in the buffer. I can agree with you, Subbu. I'm fine for now. Now, what is checkpoint first? Sir, checkpoint is an internal process. Checkpoint is an internal process which is writing. Sir, checkpoint is an internal process which is writing all the dirty pages and log records into the disk. Just make a note, sir. Just make a note. What is checkpoint, sir? Checkpoint is a internal mechanism. Checkpoint is a internal mechanism. Whenever checkpoint triggers, whatever the log records, whatever the dirty pages are available, all will move to the disk. All will move to the disk. Make a sense, sir? Online people? Checkpoint is an internal
Subbu,
mechanism. Yes.
okay, yeah, when we say it moves to a disk, that means it moves to a data file, right?
Yes, sir. Log records will move to the log file. Dirty pages will
Mhm.
move to the disk, sir.
Yeah.
Yep. Online people? Yes. So whenever checkpoint triggers, so whenever you are explaining to the interviewer, also try to explain the same thing, sir. Checkpoint is an internal mechanism. Whenever checkpoint triggers, it will move all the dirty pages. It will move the data, all the dirty pages and the log records to disk. That's it, sir. That's it. Okay, sir. Once it written all the dirty pages, once it written all the dirty pages, Okay, then now it will treat it as a clean page, sir. Sir, it is not flushing the page in buffer. Your pages will be available in the buffer itself, but now it is not dirty page, it is a clean page. Once your data is moved to the MDF file, once your data is moved to the MDF file, these pages will convert into the clean page. These pages will be stay back in the buffer and it will convert into the clean page. Checkpoint never flushes the pages. Make a Please make a note, sir. Everyone, I'm requesting, please make a note. Checkpoint never flushes the pages. Checkpoint never flushes the pages. Checkpoint will just move the data from buffer to disk. Once your data is moved to the disk, now your dirty page will convert into the clean page. Now your dirty pages will move to the convert into the clean page, sir. Make a note. Make a note, sir, everyone. And
Yes, sir.
whenever your checkpoint is triggered, now very interesting, sir. The checkpoint last LSN number, log sequence number, will be written in the boot page. Means you can get the information when your last checkpoint is triggered on this database via boot page. That is one of the internal concept. No worries, sir. I told you, right? I will show you all the concepts in advanced level. Okay. What is the last checkpoint triggered on your database, when the last checkpoint triggered on the database, and what is the last record it is moved to the database, you can get the information from the boot page. This is what something new, sir, who are already working, I hope.
Yes, sir. At what frequency checkpoint is triggered in SQL Server?
That's what, sir. Next time I'm going to explain, ma'am. Okay, just hold on. So now everyone understands, sir, what is checkpoint? Checkpoint is an internal mechanism. Whenever checkpoint triggers, whatever the log records, whatever the dirty pages will move to the disk. Once your pages will move to the disk, okay, those pages technically will call it as a clean page. And the checkpoint LSN number will be written in the boot page. Yep, clear, not clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, sir, in SQL
Yes.
Server, we have different types of checkpoints, sir. Now you will get one better idea. In SQL Server, we have different types of checkpoints. What are the different types of checkpoints, sir? One is automatic checkpoint, one is internal checkpoint, one is manual checkpoint, one is indirect checkpoint. In SQL Server, we have four types of checkpoints are available. Okay, before SQL Server 2012, we have only three types of checkpoints, sir. After SQL Server 2012, we have four checkpoints are available. Okay, automatic checkpoint, internal checkpoint, manual checkpoint, and indirect checkpoint. Indirect checkpoint. Now, ma'am, you asked, right, when checkpoint will trigger. This is nothing but automatic checkpoint, ma'am. By default, that will be zero value only. You can go and verify, ma'am. Okay, you can go and verify. Okay, so when you go to the not when you go to the database property, your recovery interval will be zero. Zero, ma'am. Zero. That will be zero. No one knows when checkpoint will trigger. No one knows. When you go for third party blocks, you are getting that, okay, 2 seconds, 10 seconds, 60 seconds, blah 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 blah, something you are getting. But but mm, from my point of view, that is not a right answer, ma'am. When it will trigger means, okay, for your purpose, for everyone understanding, see, it is a background process in SQL Server and default most common checkpoints are. Most common checkpoint is a automatic checkpoint. SQL Server continuously checking the number of log records and once it estimate that the number of log records is sufficient to process in the time specified as per the recovery interval. Means, ma'am, we never change the recovery interval time. We never change the recovery interval time. Okay, so make it as a 0 only. Please don't touch recovery interval time. Okay. Okay, why? I will tell you whenever we are discussing restore concept. Whenever we are telling the restore concept, I will come up with this concept again, ma'am. Why, sir, you are telling you don't change the checkpoint interval time? I will explain you whenever we are discussing restore concept. Okay, see, means SQL Server will estimate. Okay, I am so good with these records to trigger the checkpoint, then it will start triggering the checkpoint. It will estimate, okay, these log records are sufficient to me, okay, to move the data. Okay, so then it will trigger the checkpoint. Make a sense? Make a sense? Again, I mentioned clearly, sir. However, you should not play with it until you are highly skilled DBA and understanding the risk of doing it. What is that risk? I am going to explain in the restore concept. Yep, clear, sir? Everyone? Everyone is
Yes.
so silent.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, sir, if you wanted to change, sir, okay, if you wanted to change, you can run in both ways, sir. Either you can directly go and change from the uh, graphical user interface. You can go and change the checkpoint interval from graphical user interface, or you can go and run sp underscore config recur interval and mention how many seconds I need to run the checkpoint. 60 seconds. Every 60 seconds, I need to trigger the checkpoint. You can change in both ways, either from the graphical user interface, either from the command prompt. That is what automatic checkpoint map commonly used checkpoint. Any questions now?
So we just wanted to check, you will be sharing these documents with us, right? These PDFs and documents.
PPT, no. PPT only for
These,
presentations.
okay, and these documents you'll be sharing, right?
Huh. Concept wise, you will get, sir. Okay, but PPT, no, sir. Couple of documents I won't share, sir. Okay, this is only for teaching purpose. Okay, hope you understand.
I totally get it.
Yeah, that's it. Because this is my hard work, sir. That's what.
Yeah, I understand. This can be
To
copied
get,
and
yeah,
used.
to get this one, I spend around days, not hours. Okay, just if you wanted to type, it will just take 1 minute, 2 minutes to use, sir. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
that's it. Apart from nothing else, sir. Okay, don't take negatively. So last batch
No,
also
no,
one of,
I'm.
because last
Mhm.
batch also one of student asked, okay, why you are not sharing? You told all the documents. I told whatever the required documents I will share, not all. Okay, so again, whatever amount you are giving to me, whatever the knowledge I am sharing is not matchable, sir. Actually, that I can promise you. But because this is my fashion, whatever students are billing on me, you should get 100%, sir. Whatever I am having, you are getting same thing, sir. Whatever I don't know, you also don't know. Maybe you know because your experience learned. But whatever I am having, I'm just sharing with you. There is no hide and seek. That I can promise you, people. Throughout our journey, you will learn a lot which you don't know all the concepts. I can promise you. Because I dig like anything to get that information. That not shareable, right? At least I'm sharing you the theoretical, and I'm also providing the video. You can take, you can write somewhere in the notes. That won't take much time, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Yep. Now, sir, when you go to the internal checkpoint, okay, internal checkpoint, sir, again, this is very important. When you are performing certain activities, only couple of activities are not for all, okay, during when you are taking the backups, when you are running the when you're taking the snapshot, when you're running DBCC check DB, when you are adding the files, okay, database files, when you are changing the recovery models, okay, when your database in simple recovery model, so internal checkpoint will triggers automatically when you are performing certain activities. When you are performing certain activities, internal checkpoints will be triggered. Internal checkpoint will be triggered, sir. What are that activities? A couple of activities means whenever you are taking the backups, when you are running the checkpoint, sorry, when you are running DBCC check DB, when you are running DBCC database snapshots, when you are changing the recovery models, when your recovery model is simple, okay, when you are altering the databases, okay, automatically indirect checkpoint will triggered. Okay, nothing you can do, sir. It's like a internal mechanism, sir. Internal checkpoint never move your data. Internal checkpoint is just triggered whenever you are performing only certain activities like backups, restores, checkpoint, a snapshot, recovery models, altering the databases. Only internal checkpoint will triggers. Make a sense, sir? Again, I will come up this concept in the backup sessions. Yeah, that is a one concept, sir. Next, manual checkpoint, sir. If you wanted to run the manual checkpoint, you can go and run manual whenever you need, sir. Just type the checkpoint on the specific database. On the specific database, type the checkpoint and you can trigger hours, spend a time as you want, sir. Just execute it. Just execute it, sir. Type the checkpoint.
This running checkpoint will not have any impact, any kind of impact on database, right? I mean, just
No, 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 sir. It is moving the data from buffer to disk. That's why. Apart from
yeah. I
nothing else, it is
mean,
doing.
if we are doing this on a prod, then we can do it anytime. There is no need of any kind of threat
No, nothing,
to
sir.
fire
Why?
anything.
Because why you are running checkpoint means sometimes your checkpoint internal process got hung. Your automatic checkpoint got into hung states at sometime due to resource consumptions. There is no resource. Okay, you sometimes your checkpoint will take more time to trigger. In that scenario, your databases creep on. Users are not able to see the current data because that is available in buffer, not yet moved to the MDF file. In such cases, we will manually go on triggers or nothing will happen. It is not making any harm, sir. Nothing. Okay. I never read any
Yes.
document checkpoint will
So,
make harm.
yeah, is there any way to find whether it is hung or not?
Yes, yes, ma'am. I will show you. No worries. I told you, right?
Yeah,
Whenever in advance, I will show you one keyword. You will become more stronger. No worries. Okay. Just hold for until advanced level, ma'am. Because
sure.
the people who are starting their career, if I tell today, definitely they will forget after 20 days. Once let them digest all these things. First of all, this is heavy load. Again, I don't want make very important concept in this heavy load, man. That's the reason I'm just hiding couple of things which I'm going to explain in the coming sessions. At least they will digest something right now. Base concepts, strong concept we'll discuss in the coming sessions. Yeah. Again, I'm telling right. Every concept definitely you will learn one new point overall this entire 60 days. Yeah, clear. Yeah, last but not least. Okay, last but not least, indirect checkpoint. Okay, so indirect checkpoint which is introduced on the SQL Server 2012 onwards, ma'am. Everyone, 2012 onwards. Before 2012, like 2000 2008 2008 or 2012, sorry, 2008 or 2, there is no indirect checkpoint, sir. Sometimes time you will see the people who are already working, they know the experience. Sometimes we will see good customers, sometimes we will see bad customers, sometimes you will see a different mentality customers. Like, sir, already checkpoint is triggering, but sometimes some customers will come to you and ask you, I don't want automatic checkpoint for my database, I want checkpoint in this interval time only for my database. You need to trigger different interval. In that scenario, you can go for indirect checkpoint, sir. Indirect checkpoint is especially if you wanted to change the interval time for my specific database in one instance. In that scenario, I can go for indirect checkpoint. Make a sense? Yep. Online people. Yeah. So if you wanted to verify, sir, okay, select name comma target, sir. All this concept will come once you complete the installation, sir. Okay. So try to just digest something. You will get all this concept tomorrow. Okay. Most of the concept we'll discuss tomorrow, sir. Okay. See, there is a table called sys.databases. There is a table called sys.databases which have the target recovery interval time in second per every database, sir. When I run this command, you will get, so by default it is going for 0 only. Now I wanted to change the checkpoint interval time for this database only. Now I'm making alter database name, set target recovery time equal to 120 seconds. When I run this one, okay, now you can go and verify for this database. It will run checkpoint for every 2 minutes. Make a sense, sir? Make a sense?
Yeah, yes. This could be interview question as well, right? Like if we
Yes.
can if we can modify checkpoint timing for particular database.
I will come up this point in again log file troubleshoot. 1 second, sir. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Yeah. So I hope you understand, sir. Indirect checkpoint is nothing but if you wanted to change the interval time for my specific database, you can go and do with the help of indirect checkpoint. Yep. Clear? Yes? No? Everyone understands, sir, checkpoint?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Now let me go for lazy writer. Sir, you can also dig lots, sir, but this is again very, I mean to say, experienced people can understand now. Fn underscore db log, but no worries, sir. I'm showing one demo. Okay, in replication, replication itself is a strong concept. Replication itself is a very core concept and very complex concept in entire SQL Server. No worries, we have a separate demo, sir, where I am going to show you when your checkpoint has been triggered. You can read fn underscore db log as well. You can just run this kind of command, okay, and then you can run this command. You will get the complete data about fn. It is reading the log file, sir. It is reading your log file. It's not a easy, sir. Fn underscore db log, it's very complex concept. Okay, we are going to discuss when we are discussing in the demo sessions. Okay, so how to read fn underscore db log, there is a separate session, sir. When your checkpoint begins, when your checkpoint ends, when your checkpoint begins, when your checkpoint ends. So you will see complete your reading, sir. It's not easy, I told you, right? No worries, we are going to discuss in the replication demo, sir. I made one demo, very interesting, so that you will become strong on fn underscore db log, along with you will strong on the replication troubleshoot as well. Make sense? And also, okay, so when you enable the trace file 350, but don't enable, sir, it will make your SQL error log bump like anything. Okay, sir, you can enable 3504 trace file. You can enable 3504 trace file to see the checkpoint triggering time, to see the checkpoint DBCC trace on. Okay, so trace on, you can enable here. Okay, comma -1. Okay, you can enable, sir, but don't enable in real world. Your SQL error log bump like anything, sir. Okay, means too much of data you can see in the SQL error logs. Your SQL server error log will grow like anything. Okay, don't enable, sir. We don't need to worry about when the checkpoint is triggering, data is moving or not, only we are focusing. Okay, in case if you see any lag or you will see any data is mismatching, then you can enable for couple of hours or couple of days, and again you can go and disable the trace files, are 3504. Okay, so how to enable the trace, how to turn it off, enable trace, what is -1, we are going to discuss in the coming sessions. These two methods you can use to get the checkpoint trigger, sir. Yep, make a sense, sir? Online people, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the one more concept is called lazy writer. Sir, almost your lazy writer and checkpoint having the same nature, sir. But what is the difference, sir? I can see when I go for lazy writer means, sir, lazy writer is also internal process. The name itself it is showing lazy. The name itself it is showing lazy, sir. Means always your lazy writer will be in the sleepy mode. In the sleeping, sir. Always it will be in the sleeping only. Whenever, whenever, whenever we have the memory pressure, whenever we have the memory pressure and there is no free space memory, lazy writer invokes automatically. Sir, when lazy writer invokes means, what is the time frame? We don't know, sir. We don't know. Can we change the lazy writer time interval? No. Any, we have different types of lazy writer? No. Only one concept, that is lazy writer only, sir. Lazy writer invokes whenever your RAM is getting full. Lazy writer invokes whenever your RAM is getting full. Once it feel that okay, RAM is now full, we need to do the cleanup. What lazy writer will do? Lazy writer will flushes. Lazy writer will flushes the dirty pages, flushes the clean page to the disk. Okay, flush, not moving, sir. Flushing the data from the buffer to disk to make RAM healthy. To make RAM healthy, based on what, sir? Means based on the least reference count, least used pages. Means assume, sir, this is your buffer. This is your buffer. Okay, we are having the pages, sir. We are having the pages. Okay, sir, in the buffer, this space has been used for 10 times. This space has been used for 100 times. This space has used for only one time. This space has been used for 200 times. So this space has been used for two times. This space has been used for nine times. This space has used for 11 times. So whenever lazy writer will trigger, whenever lazy writer will trigger, because the RAM is getting full, sir, there is no space. Whenever lazy writer will triggers, it will scan the data pages and it will see which pages are least used, least reference count. Those pages, it will flush the pages from RAM to disk, sir. It includes dirty pages, includes clean pages. It will flushes from RAM to disk to make RAM healthy. How many pages it will flush? How many pages if I flush, my RAM will become healthy? Those many pages it will flush, sir. Make sense? Make sense, sir? Everyone? Online people?
Yes, sir.
How many pages if I flush so that my RAM will become healthy, it will start flushing, sir. It will start flushing. Take your hard disk also, sir. Whenever your hard disk is completely full, what you will do, you will start moving the cleanupping, right? Deleting until unless your hard disk will be healthy. Like same, Laserator will also follow the same algorithm until unless your RAM will become healthy. Yep. Now you may ask one more question. Then what is the difference between checkpoint and Laserator, sir? Checkpoint will triggers based on the interval time and it will move the data from buffer to disk. It won't flushes the pages. Once your checkpoint trigger, your clean page will become the your dirty page will become the clean page. But Laserator not like that, sir. Laserator it will invokes only when our RAM is getting full and it will flushes the dirty pages, clean pages to the disk to make RAM is healthy. Yep. I will share you material, sir, with differences and everything. No need to worry. Hope you understand. Everyone, people, online people, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any questions, sir? Tomorrow I will explain about the eager writer. It is heavy load for you, I know. Any questions before I stop the recording? If no questions, let me stop it.